I know most of y'all tuning in are usually used to only seeing me in a green screen with a short and all the pictures behind me, but now they're going to be like in this general direction. And yes, this is my biggest Hazbin Hotel theory yet. I have a lot of notes. A lot of notes. Hey guys, my name is Maritello and I share everything that I find interesting. Before we get into all of these amazing little facts I have here, make sure that you leave a like on the video, consider subscribing to my channel if you already aren't, and share this with your friends and fellow Helliverse lovers. I won't do my whole spiel on, sign up for my Patreon or look at my TikToks. If you want all my social medias, they're in the description below. I kind of just want to get right into it. As we recently found out with Hazbin Hotel Season 2, Episode 3 and 4, we now have 3 significant things that happened 7 years ago. 1, Lilith leaves and Charlie says it's probably out to do some kind of big thing. Alastor has disappeared for 7 years and has made a comeback, and thanks to episode 4, we now know why, and it was because Rosie asked him to. And because of episode 4 as well, we now know that extermination also began 7 years ago. I don't think this is a coincidence, and I think I have finally found a way to attach all of these together, but it's very, very long, so you'll have to bear with me. It's also going to tie in a couple of my other little mini theories because I made essentially basically an entire timeline of how all of this came about. So if you're ready, grab a drink and a snack and let's dive right in. Just a side note, there also might be a few plot holes. I think I filled everything in, but if I didn't and there is, for whatever reason, any plot holes I did miss, make sure you let me know in the comments or give me your theory as well. Alright, so let's begin. Overpopulation hell has become a major issue. And at this time, the royal family is kind of a mess. Charlie at this time is still pretty young. Lucifer has just lost all motivation. He is mentally checked out. This guy saw people get free will and just completely waste it. And he only gets to see the bad parts because he is in hell with all the bad people. He doesn't get to see all the good that came out of getting free will. So right now, ruling hell is essentially all up to Lilith. And Lilith, unlike Lucifer, does care very much for the people of hell still. So as being basically the only leader hell has right now, it's up to her to figure out this overpopulation problem. And she already realizes, yeah, this is too big to just do by myself. So she decides to go to heaven to try to get some kind of assistance in figuring out overpopulation. So she has a meeting with the council and Sarah in order to try to find some kind of solution. Or at least get some insight on why there's so many souls in hell specifically. Adam is present in the meeting because he was the first man, so he's usually involved in meetings like this. And when he finds out that his first wife, the one who refused to be subservient to him, is now having issues in her kingdom along with the man who took her, he gets an idea to get revenge. And so Adam pitches the idea of extermination. If overpopulation's a problem, if there's so many sinners, let's just get rid of them. And if his ex-wife and maybe the guy who took her happen to get in the crossfire, I don't think he sees an issue with that either. Create an exorcist army, go down there once a year, unalive as many of these sinners as possible, call it a day. Now Sarah is hesitant. She doesn't necessarily want this to happen. It sounds very violent. It sounds bad. But Sarah can't find another solution for overpopulation because not only is this hell's problem, but it's also heaven's problem. Hell is the place where all of the worst people from Earth are residing. And if one day they decide to have an uprising and take over heaven, well, there's nothing they can do. So the exorcist army is made, which is going to protect the people in heaven as well as take care of extermination yearly to keep overpopulation in hell to a decent amount. I say decent very loosely. Now, obviously, Lilith's not 100% okay with this. So now her first priority is her family. Her family needs to be safe. So she tries to reason with them and say, hey, there's got to be a way for me and my family to be safe. The only safe place right now from extermination would be heaven. But Lucifer can't go back to heaven. Lucifer has fallen, which means that he is unable to go back to heaven. We've seen examples of fallen angels and fallen cherubs not being able to enter heaven again. So this isn't even like a well, we could try to make an exception. This is more of a like, no, this like, it just can't happen. Vaggie has a pass because Vaggie didn't technically fall. Vaggie had her wings cut off and was left for dead. That's why she's able to go in for Welcome to Heaven. I know that doesn't sound relevant, but I feel like I can already hear the comments, so I'm just like clearing that up too. Anyway, so Lucifer's fallen. Lucifer can't get into heaven, right? And Charlie, while she can get into heaven, I don't think that they want her in heaven, given that she is the daughter of a fallen angel. So the only one that they're willing to offer sanctuary to is Lilith. Now, Lilith being basically the closest thing heaven has right now to a ruler, because Lucifer's out of commission and Charlie's too young, she needs to stay alive. So she agrees to stay in heaven in a secluded area where no one else is going to find her, and she'll be able to get updates from Sarah about the extermination. Well, now we get into the problem. Well, Lucifer and Charlie are still at risk. How is Lilith going to make sure that Lucifer and Charlie are going to be okay? How about contacting an overlord who is an ally? Now, a lot of overlords may have some different thoughts about the royal family. In the second to last episode of season 1, Carmilla says that Charlie being the princess of hell means nothing to her, meaning that she probably doesn't have a lot of respect for the royal family. However, we see in season 2 that in Cannibal Town, which is run by Rosie, there is a big statue of the royal family, which likely means that Rosie is an ally of the royal family. So Rosie is an ally, and being an ally of the royal family, Lilith decides to let her in on the secret about extermination. Like a little deal, like I'm going to give you this information before anyone else is going to have this information so you can prepare yourself. And in exchange, I need my family protected. And Rosie, of course, being the ally of the royal family, is going to, of course, say yes to the Queen of Hell. So Lilith gives the rundown and tells Rosie everything that's about to go down. Hey, Adam, my ex-husband, is planning to create a giant army of angels that are going to start coming down once a year for extermination, and they're going to take out as many souls as possible. So, of course, Rosie agrees to this, and now she has information that no one else does yet about extermination. And because she knows about extermination before anyone else, she goes to Alastor, one of the most powerful sinners in hell, actually the most powerful, according to their deal, and tells him to lay low. No more broadcasting, no more radio shows. You cannot be seen right now because it is too dangerous, and we don't know if an angel or exorcist can still kill you, even if you are the most powerful sinner in hell. Alastor, who is under her control, reluctantly says, okay, yes, and lays low. Now, this coincidentally happens right around the time that Vox and Alastor have a fight. That Vox supposedly won, according to Valentino, saying that Vox is still pissed that he almost got beat by Alastor last time. And also the fact that Vox hasn't seen him for those entire 7 years, and also in the state gone, Valentino said, I thought he was gone for good too. Meaning that they probably assumed that Alastor left because he lost to a fight. But the real reason Alastor left is because Rosie told him not to protect him from the exorcists. Now Lilith, we see, is still getting calls and text messages. She still has service in heaven, meaning she has a way to communicate with people in hell. So Rosie is probably giving her information about what's going on. Now the question is, why is she not talking to her family? It's probably out of guilt. Lucifer and Charlie don't know where Lilith is, and if they do know, they haven't outright said it in the show yet. They just say she is out on some big mission for the better of hell. They don't know where she's at. And how would Lilith tell them, oh, I've been hiding away in heaven to make sure that I, as the one person who has been the leader the entire time, won't get killed in the extermination? Sounds cowardly, and it also sounds kind of neglectful. She probably feels very guilty. That guilt's been eating away at her, and she can't face her family. She can't talk to her family after that. So that's how things have been working now. Lilith is in heaven to not get exterminated herself. Charlie and Lucifer are still in hell. Rosie is keeping an eye on them, and that's basically the plan until there is a better idea for what to do to deal with overpopulation in hell. And that is where Charlie comes in. Lilith is gone on what Charlie thinks is some great mission for hell. And Lucifer's in no mental state to handle all of this. He's super depressed. He has no motivation for his job, and his wife's been gone. She feels like it's her responsibility to try to come up with a new plan and a more humane way to handle the extermination and overpopulation in hell. And the plan that she comes up with is redemption. She pitches her big old passion project about a hotel that will rehabilitate sinners and get them to heaven without the need for violence and death. Rosie, of course, would hear about this and send Alastor to go help with the hotel. He would oversee it to stay close to Charlie, one, to gain intel about what's actually going on and how close that sinners are getting to redemption, and two, to protect Charlie and make sure that things are going smoothly. Because let's be honest, if the angels and exorcists, and more importantly, Adam, finds out that there is a hotel that is trying to ruin his plan to get rid of sinners this way and also maybe act on a little bit of revenge on Lilith and Lucifer, he's probably going to target that place first for the next extermination. So Alastor's there to protect them and make sure everything goes smoothly. Now, Lilith is not only getting the intel from Rosie about what's been going on, but she's also getting updates from Sarah in heaven, as well as Lute. Lute's not really supposed to be talking to her. That wasn't the plan, but it feels like Lute has been going kind of back and forth and dealing with Lilith. Also, I think she might feel a little threatened because she's in love with Adam, and now his ex-wife is just happens to be here, so maybe she's feeling a little threatened. So she's also probably hearing bits and pieces about how Charlie has made this hotel and trying to make redemption a thing, and finds out that Adam is in fact going to go to the hotel first on the next extermination day. Battle happens, we all know what happens, Adam gets unalive, the hotel gets destroyed, but we're getting it built up, and redemption is possible because Serpentius gets redeemed. And we see at the very end of the season 1 finale, Lute goes to the little beach where Lilith is hanging out at, and she tells her Adam is dead, and there's the deal that was originally here, done. And she says that because redemption wasn't part of the deal. Finding a loophole of this wasn't part of the deal. Adam getting killed was not part of the deal. So she says if Lilith still wants to be here, if she still wants protection guaranteed for herself, she's going to go back down to hell and put Charlie in her place and tell her to knock it off. Now, obviously, Lilith's not going to do that. And later, Sarah basically told her that they're not going to kick Lilith out. Because Lute right now is very, very emotional about Adam being dead, and she wants revenge. While the Seraphim, when they find out that redemption is possible, they want to give it a chance. So yeah, no, Lilith isn't going to go down to hell and tell Charlie to stop. She wants this to play out. She wants Charlie to run the hotel and do this on her own to see if this is really a thing that can happen. If redemption is going to be the humane and best way to handle overpopulation in hell. And I think Lilith is planning to go back down to hell when, one, they prove that redemption is possible, which they already did with Serpentius, but two, when they have a path to redemption that actually works. Like, what is it that a sinner does in order to be redeemed? And they can do this and show that this works continuously. Because then she knows that she's going to be safe, she knows her family's going to be safe, and heaven knows that they'll be safe because no one is going to be planning an uprising, and their overpopulation is not going to be an issue because the ones who are able to be redeemed are now in heaven. So that is Lilith's plan right now. Meanwhile, Alastor is still under Rosie's command. Alastor just almost got himself killed protecting this hotel. Alastor says in the season finale song that he is craving for freedom like never before. He is trying to get out of his deal with Rosie. And why like never before? Why is he more determined? He doesn't want to be at the hotel. Protecting the hotel is too dangerous. Obviously, his staff got broken, which held a lot of his power, and he got severely injured. Lucifer has shown up and is kind of being a jerk to Alastor. Not to say he didn't deserve it, because he totally did jabs right back, but Alastor's a bit of a narcissist. He can do no bad in his eyes. Everyone else is out to get him. And finally, redemption is proven to be possible. There's not going to be any entertainment. Part of the reason Alastor said that he wanted to be there was to find satisfaction in watching these sinners fail. Well, now it's proven that redemption is a thing. He's not going to have his entertainment anymore, which is a very minor little fact compared to the other two, but probably a factor why he wants to leave nonetheless. So now he is trying to find a loophole to get out of his deal with Rosie. And what was the deal that Rosie made for him? She promised to make him the most powerful sinner in hell. So if he could prove that he's not the most powerful sinner in all of hell, that contract would be null and void because Rosie didn't make him the most powerful sinner. So if he was essentially able to get kidnapped, be defeated by someone that he claims is lower than him, well, then it shows right there that he's not the most powerful sinner in hell. And that's why he allowed Vox to take him as his little prisoner and parade him around hell, because he's trying to get out of his deal with Rosie, and in order to get out of that deal, he needs to prove that he's not the most powerful sinner. But of course, Alastor did have a condition. One, of course, would to be to not mess anymore with Husk and Nifty during the fight. But the second one was to not lay a hand on Charlie. Because for the time being, Alastor is still under Rosie's command. Rosie promised Lilith, the Queen of Hell, to make sure that her family was going to be safe. Therefore, Alastor has to make sure that this family is going to be safe. So that's why he tells Vox not to mess with Charlie. This is why he's been gone for 7 years. This is why Rosie has him at the hotel. And it also explains why the extermination has only been going on for the time that Lilith has been gone and Alastor has been laying low. I think I did most of that in one take. My God. Anyway, that is my theory on what the heck is going on in hell. If you liked this video, make sure you let me know by leaving a like, consider subscribing to my channel, and sharing this with your friends and fellow Helliverse lovers. If you want to see more theories like this, let me know. I actually am working on my big Valentino theory, which I also did a short about, but I'm going to dive in a little more on that one. I have a far-fetched velvet theory that's kind of been making its rounds, which again, very far-fetched. I don't even know if I fully believe it, but I will defend it. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a great day. Stay safe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.